La dolce vita, la joie de vivre, pure sweet, joy of life. I'm with my 91-year-old mum. She's a real legend. You wait till you hear some of her story. Welcome to the Inspiration Story series of 5-minute pick-me-ups. In this episode, I'm continuing reading from my mum's book. This particular chapter is a personal message from her to her readers. And I've selected Lake Macquarie, which you see in the background, because Mum refers to my older sister Judith. Judith was tragically killed on this lake in a boating accident, and I thought it was very apt for me to read this particular chapter right here. Let's continue. In 1956, when my husband Horry and I were settling into our appointment to pastor the Hamilton Church, we received a call to mission service. We were asked to go to Ambay in the New Hebrides group, now Vanuatu. We had several years of hoping and overcoming serious medical difficulties before we'd been blessed with our darling daughter, Judith. As a teenager, she chose to be called Judy, and then later on became called Jo. My initial reaction to the call was, how can I take my precious baby to a remote mission station that looks like a small pinpoint on a map of the vast Pacific Ocean? For Horry, it spelled adventure. We'd promised to go where God called, so we would go. We were encouraged and supported by a dear family friend, Elmer Wiles, a pioneer missionary with vast experience, and by former classmates Pastor Barry and Norma Crabtree, whose place we'd been taking at the Redcliffe Mission, now in Oba. Horry's years in ministerial training, his experience growing up on a family farm, his work at Avondale College, building projects as a student, and his practical abilities gave him an excellent background for what would be required of him. My nursing training at the Sydney SAN, now the Sydney Adventist Hospital, would also prove very valuable. Being so far from home and from loved ones, I made it my practice to send duplicated letters to our parents, families and members, and to close friends, so they could feel part of our mission service and not miss the children's early years, even if they could not interact with them. Posting them often proved difficult, so I numbered the envelopes when completed. Sometimes it could be weeks, and in the early years, months, before they could be posted. Unbeknown to me, my sister, Elva Manor Feats, had saved many of the letters, and it was a surprise when she gave me a carton containing them. It was a special thrill for Judy, because she loved those early years on Vanuatu and then Bougainville. It had been her dream to write a book about them. Now, with these letters, she would have much of the material needed to help bring those years to life. Sadly, it was not to be. An accident claimed her life and shattered our family. The letters and the dream were forgotten, until one day, as I searched through a trunk, I came upon the carton and thought there was now no reason to keep the letters. I spoke to Lauren, our son, about burning them, and he said, "No, Mum, don't destroy them." The carton was once again stored and forgotten until recently. While talking to my dear friend, Robin Priestley, I told her of the letters and how sad it was that Judy's dream had died with her. She suggested we read them together. Dr. Priestley is a historian who knows about examining, documenting and compiling letters, making them into a story. She had spent years researching and deciphering letters of long-dead 17th century men, women, in an attempt to understand how they lived and related to each other in their families. She thought it would be exciting to be able to read the letters, mostly typed, with me, the writer sitting next to her, ready to answer any questions and provide more detail about people and places. This was all new to me, so I watched with great interest as the letters were gathered together in an orderly way and we set about reading them. Those years of long ago came to life vividly for me as we read, and we both felt that not only our children, Lauren and Debbie, would enjoy reliving them, but also our grandchildren, and perhaps even a wider audience would appreciate them. My sister Elva saved few letters before the middle of 1964, but after that it's possible to trace the development of some stories through several letters. If I'd tried to tell the story of our mission experience by relying on memory, so much would have been lost. I may have written the letters, but they are published in this form because of a daughter who had a heart for the story they tell, a sister with the desire to keep alive the memories they contain, and a friend with the passion and skill to bring the story to life. Robin and I hope that in publishing these letters, we've also been able to honour the hundreds of mission wives who worked to keep their families functioning successfully and happily in often very difficult circumstances. We want to honour also the children that grew up in lands and cultures different from their own. These letters portray ordinary life in places that were very much out of the ordinary. Come and journey with me through the following pages for snapshots into the life of a missionary wife and her family on remote mission stations in the 1950s and 60s. Margaret Watts, March 2016. My mum. Thank you for watching. I want to share with you a photo of Mum and Dad with Judith when she was a babe in Vanuatu, and also a lovely photo with Mum. If you'd like to see more episodes, click on the subscribe button and don't forget to click the notification, and every time I upload, you will know and you can continue the story. La dolce vita, la joie de vivre, pure sweet joy of life.